Hi everyone, it's Leslie Seidel here. So I'm one of those people that's like extremely on time, and so what ends up happening is I'm nervous about being late to these things. So I sit here prepared with the phone, with the phone, and then I just stare at myself for like 5 minutes. It's really disconcerting, I gotta say. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, what's happening with my hair? Oh, like, I just got my hair did. Look at that. My lady is so awesome. She is, I gotta tell you, having a good hair person goes a long, long way. Um, so how are you? I see someone's on. I don't know who you are, so say hi if you want. Um, I am, I cannot believe that Christmas is coming up. Here we go. Let's in it. We are in the holidays for sure. So I hope that you guys are done with your shopping. I am, thank God. I'm going to be traveling, so I'm going down to Southern California. I live in Oregon, and so we're going to Southern California. So I'm super excited for some warm weather and some family and some, hi Colleen, hi Stacy, some family and some good friends. And so I hope you guys are excited. I can't wait to hear about what you're doing for the holidays. So, today we wanted to talk about how to be single in the holidays and how to thrive. And I promise you, I spent so many years dreading the holidays, dreading the idea of everyone being coupled. And, when I was single, I just had this image of everyone walking hand in hand down the street, doing fabulous things on holidays, joyously singing carols. And it's not true. So I wanted to figure out, we wanted to spend some time today talking about an action item plan, things that you can do for self-care and to prepare yourself for the holidays. So where do you get tripped up? One of the things we talked about for Thanksgiving is this dreaded question, oh, are you seeing anyone? Right? So who are you seeing, and is there anyone special in your life? And oh, shoot me now. And I had this one aunt who just like would not be polite, and she would be straight up be like, who you seeing? What's going on? Oh, that's BS. You need to figure this out. Like, she would just come at me with this like no holds bar, like, I don't want to hear your BS answer. And yeah, in some ways it was good. I had to be honest about what was happening for me, and I had to get okay with myself around that. And in the other way, it was horrifying because I didn't like to look at the truth. So, again, if you are getting ready for the holidays and you're going to have to see family and they're going to ask you these questions, and I honestly don't think that these questions come from a place of, they come from a place of caring about you, and they come from a place, some of them are coming from a place of just looking for something to say, right? And it's just like, here's the list of things that they're going to ask you. They just ask you because it's something to talk about. And some of it is coming from a place that they just truly love you. And so for me, I had to learn how to not feel criticized when someone said, so are you seeing anyone? And I had to say no. And instead of just hearing the love that my friends and family have for me and seeing it that way. If I hadn't felt so bad about being single, and if my clients didn't feel so bad about being single, they wouldn't mind the question. Because again, one of the things that we talked about, or one of the things I tend to talk about with my clients and you guys, is that if all you wanted to do was get married, you could have gotten married. But that's not why you're single. It's not why I was single. I could have gotten married for the sake of getting married. The reason I was single is I wanted a big love. I wanted a true partnership. I didn't want these marriages that I saw that were not what I wanted. I wanted, and I was willing to work and wait for a relationship that would last, a relationship that supported me, a relationship that I got to support him, and someone who I really wanted to come home to at night. And someone who I wanted to like live this life that I have with, and I think that that's why you guys are here. you're not here just to get married. You're here, at least those of you that I talk to, are here because you would like a really good relationship and you want to set the foundation for that. So if someone gets to ask you that question during this holiday season, come up with an answer. Come up with an answer so you're prepared for it, you can be flippant about it, and you're ready. Why, yes, I'm currently dating myself until someone wonderful comes along. That's one of my favorites. Come up with, and if you guys have any you want to share here. It's a good idea, and then steal what other people are saying. So you want to find a way to embrace this. You want to find a way to make this feel good. And so come prepared for the landmines you think are present. So that's one of the ways that you want to get prepared for these holidays. The other thing, hold on. Oh, this happened with I didn't even give her the assignment, or maybe I had. One of my clients sent me an email, and she sent me an email of 2 relationships that she has in her world that she doesn't want. And so getting past this idea that everyone's happily coupled and that everyone's trupsing through the tulips during this time isn't true. And so start to look at like, oh yeah, that person, while they do have a partner, they're not happy. You know what I mean? So it's not getting really clear that you're not the only single person in the world, because I'm such a good victim. I have been in the past. Let's change that. So I was such a good victim, and so it was so easy for me to be like, I'm the only single girl ever. And the reality is, ladies, is that you're not single. I mean, you're not the only ones. Look at how many women are in this group. Okay? Go around and look around to your friends that are near you and make some plans together. Support each other. Like, let's sing hallelujah to each other. You know what I mean? You guys, there's a bunch of people in this group because you're not the only one. And so to really start to get a realistic view of your views of the holidays, and that you're this, like, the only single person there. So now we're going to talk a little bit. This is that was the most unsmooth transition in the history of transitions. Let's talk a little bit about self-care. Look, our society is not built on self-care. We have we don't really have a pattern for it. We don't know how to do it, and it's something that we're supposed to we're supposed to buy, we're supposed to consume, we're supposed to do all of these things. And so starting to put a self-care routine into your life is going to make your holidays and your life so much better. Here's the other thing. All of these muscles that we're doing right now, the self-care, the getting realistic about what's happening and not being a victim, those are muscles and things that you need and will need when you're married, when you're in a relationship, when you've moved to the next phase. So I want you to start to internalize that. I want you to start to say, okay, that I'm not doing this just because you're single and that you don't have any other choice. These are all things that you need to do and that will help in your marriage and will help in your relationship, whatever that is for you. So self-care. Look, there's four main topics, and what I have done is I would just have a spreadsheet and I will go through and check it off. I like spreadsheets though. I'm a little dorky that way. You don't have to do it, but what you can do is take a moment, sit down, come up with things in each of these 4 categories that will fill you up. And as you do that, schedule them in. Like I said, I'm going to Southern California and we're going to be with family and we're going to be there for a really long time. And in the middle of a 15-day trip, my husband and I and my son are taking a 4-day vacation. And we're planning to hang out with friends and we're planning to hang out with each other and we're going to go on a date night, which is so lovely. Plan it now. Because I know if I don't have these things in place, if I don't have these things planned, I'm going to sit in the middle of all the brouhaha of the family and all the things that are going on with, I mean, at one point, I think there's going to be 9 people in a house, like everyone's schedule, everyone's thing, like, and it'll be hard. It'll be much easier when I start to say, oh, sorry, I've got a yoga class I'm going to do, which is one of the things I'm doing. You know, so the 4 different topics I want you guys to look at is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So this is already getting to be relatively long. So I'm gonna hi Melissa. So get into physical. Here's the number 1, guys. Ready? I'm gonna ask you to eat healthy. I know. The holidays are this, like, you get to eat a certain way. God, the sugar and the crap and the drinking, like, it's gonna run you down. And if you can at least commit to 3 meals a day and try and get some healthy in there, try and get some good solid food in there. Don't skip, don't, like, you know, but it's a way to do self-care. So I'm going to ask you guys to eat healthy, and let's see if you can do it. And it does take some planning. It does take some planning, but I promise your emotional life. So the thing that's really interesting is I was doing this list and coming up with ideas. So many, anytime, Stacy. So many of these things, if you do one of them, they hit other items too. So not only is eating healthy going to help you physically, it's going to help you mentally, it's going to help you emotionally. You know, if you want to see the effects of sugar on someone, give it to a kid. When I give my child sugar, which is rare, he spins like a top. His little body can't handle it. And all of a sudden he freaks out and then he crashes into this thing. And we do the same. We just have a little more regulation, and we're not quite as clear that the fight we just started with our significant others was because we ate a bunch of sugar. So I'll get off my bandwagon about eating healthy. I feel very, very clear about it. This is the other thing. For you guys that are single and alone, here's a practice that I love and I highly recommend, which is when you make a meal, only serve a meal to yourself that you would happily serve to guests. Someone gave this to me years ago, and it is such a beautiful practice to sit down and say, you know, oh, that I put napkins out for me, real silverware out for me, and give myself the same love and compassion and attention that I would give a guest, right? It's a really interesting idea. Instead of eating out of the pot, which I've done plenty of times, trying to serve yourself the way you would serve those that you love, because you love yourself. So, just letting you know that. So, physical, you could go for a walk in nature, which is a huge deal. You can go do yoga. I'm a big fan. Tai Chi. Treat yourself to a massage. All of those are not only physical, but they're going to help you in a lot of different ways. So, let's talk about mental. Gratitude journal. I have taken a class. I'm a huge fan of classes. I do a lot of, I like to explore things. Yeah. So, like I've done a glass blowing class, and Groupons are great for this, guys. Just so you know, you can do a lot of things cheaply that you've never done before on Groupon. So you can take a new class, you can do a gratitude journal, you can just to do things to refresh you again. We go back to the physical, so taking a walk helps you mentally, and it just helps you to kind of check out. And also meditation. So you guys, I'm sure I've told you all, meditation is a big part of my life. I believe in it so strongly. So if you've never meditated before, there is a free app you can get on your phone called Insight Timer. It gives you a ton of guided meditations you can try. You can try chakra meditation, sleeping meditation, metta meditation, and you can just try a bunch out. Some of them work, some of them don't. Yeah. So I highly recommend it. And let me know if it would be helpful if I did a video meditation for you guys. I do, one of the main practices I do is grounding. I'm not naturally a very grounded person, so I need to get grounded, and that is yeah, so it's one of the things I do during my meditation is a grounding meditation. So if that is something that you guys want, I mean, you can find a ton on YouTube. You can find a ton. So let me know, and but I'm happy to do it. So, okay. So what have we talked about? So we talked about mental. We've talked about emotional. Oh my God, have a good cry. I have a friend of mine who, on purpose, watches movies. I don't have a problem crying. I cry all the time. To know me is to have seen me cry at some point. But if you have a hard time, watch a sappy movie. Or watch your favorite movie. One of my favorite movies is Good Will Hunting. I seriously, hands down, I love that movie. I could watch that movie. Oh. And then anything by Jane Austen. Almost anything by Jane Austen. Some people murder Jane Austen, but I can watch Sense and Sensibility, House Come Home. It's just so lovely. The women are so lovely. Anyway. So, watch a good movie. You know what I love to do, too? Write a letter to a friend. You know what? We all take the time to sit down and actually write this. Take the time. Hi, Michelle. Take the time to sit down and write. Take the time to put it in the mail. You all know you would love to have a handwritten letter come to you. Okay. So I think we've done physical, mental, emotional, and now we're going to talk about spiritual. Again, a lot of these go in a bunch of different ways. Whatever it is to be spiritual for you, whatever it is to be grounded, is great. You can do the meditation I talked about. You can try a new place to worship. I was raised atheist, so I feel very free to go to a bunch of different places. I love going to high holidays, which is the Jewish tradition. It's one of the most dear things to me. I've been to synagogues, I've been to temples, I've been to churches and cathedrals, and so if that's something that interests you, then go for it. If it doesn't interest you, it doesn't have to. But it's, for me, it's someplace that I really love. You could also get a book. I was talking to a good friend today, a couple days ago, and she didn't know about Anne Lamott. Oh my gosh, if you don't know about Anne Lamott, her last name is Lamont. She, and I would highly recommend Traveling Mercies. She is spunky and fun and beautiful and real and honest and down in the trenches with you in your spiritual life. And so if you don't know about that, I highly recommend it. You can get Gabby Bernstein, just has a new book out. The Universe Has Your Back, and there's so many more. And if anyone has a favorite book, go ahead and post it, and please, everyone can steal from those. So that's a great way to feed yourself spiritually. Again, as we've talked about, so is going for a walk, so is doing yoga, so is doing all these things. The other thing, the 4 agreements. Right? The 4 agreements. Oh my God, what is the other one? We can look at my bookshelf right now. I can do that, but I don't want to get into that. Wayne Dyer is good. Oh God, what is the guy? I'm not going to remember. So I'm going to let it go. So the other thing is to go be of service. You can be of service in so many different ways. It is a practice of mine when I'm having a bad day to be of service. There is 2 places here locally that I tend to do. One is a shelter for abused women and children, and they have an ongoing list online and what they need. And the same with the homeless shelter. And when I'm having a bad day, I look on there, see what they need, I go pick it up, and I drop it off. It takes 5 seconds. The other day they had diapers. It makes me cry. And I just can't imagine not being able to provide diapers for my child. And they were the same size, of course, the way God works. They were the same size as my child, and so, as Luke, and so, oh, yeah, I'm going to go buy you an extra box of diapers. Hell yeah. So, it's along the idea of getting grateful. Yeah, there you go. Stacey's giving you a couple more books. To be grateful, you know, what ways can you be grateful? And I'm telling you, going and dropping off to the shelter makes me incredibly grateful for all that I have and all that I get to do. So go be of service, whatever that means to you, in big ways or in small, you know. And you don't have to commit your life. You don't have to do that, but you can do something. And I promise you, you're going to have a different feeling the day after, the minute after. So that's a majority of the self-care. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, so, I always get up on my feet. So, one of the things that you guys asked me about, or has been asked about for me, is ritual. I love ritual. I talk about ritual till the cows come home. Ritual is lost in our society. I think that we still do it, but the depth and the breadth and the why we do it is gone. So I invite you to do it. I invite you to do it in big ways, and I invite you to do it in small ways, but I love it. And so tomorrow is the solstice. And if you don't know what that means, it means that it's the day that the day and the night are exactly the same. So what has been happening is slowly but surely the night has been getting longer. And then tomorrow, after tomorrow, slowly but surely the days are going to start to get longer. So there's a summer solstice too, and an autumn. So there's a lot of solstices. There's 4. But tomorrow's the winter solstice. So I believe in the rhythm of the nature, and I believe in and I also know that Christmas comes from that, and so does a lot of these rituals that we do. Why do we have the Christmas lights and the gathering? Because everything has been slow and cold. So tomorrow's winter solstice. I put up a post about a ritual you can do. It's super easy. I've done that ritual before many, many times. One of the things, if you don't want to ingest, so what you need is you write on paper what you want to let go of, and you also on another sheet of paper, you write on some things you want to bring forward. So we're having a little gathering. I like to have gatherings. And so we're going to do several things. One, which is it's winter, the birds are out and they're having a rough time. And so with kids, if you guys have children, one of the things you do is make little seed cakes. You can make these seed cakes. You can go to Pinterest, you'll find many of them. What I like to do is put peanut butter on, which is fat and good for the birds, on a pine cone, and then roll it in seed, and then go hang them up on the trees. So if you've got kids, it's a great way to acknowledge the winter and the solstice. The other thing I do are these wish lanterns. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, see that? I think it's backwards for you guys. Anyway, they're these they're really big. I'm not very good spatially, and I'm also, so when I bought them, I bought 5 of them, what I thought was 5 of them, and instead there were 5 packages of 10 or something ridiculous, so I have a ton of them. So I've been doing these lanterns for a long time. So if you live in a place where fire is a problem, please don't do this. But we are totally snowed in, and so we are going to create a couple of these. One that we let things go. So we go in there and we just write on it. I use it's just paper. What is this? Rice paper. And we use highlighters, and we write all the things that we want to let go. And another one that we write all the things that we want to bring forward into the new solstice, into the new year. This is also something you can do in the New Year's if that's what you want. And so we write it, and then we let it go. The other thing we do, and if you have any questions, just type it in and let me know. The other thing we do is 4th of July. I live in a place where for fireworks are legal. It's not legal in most of California, so I've never really lived in a place where fireworks are legal. So we bought a ton. And if you go the day after the 5th of July or like late on the 4th of July, they give you all these fireworks for super cheap. So we have a ton of fireworks, like super fun fireworks, and we're going to let them off. And it's instead of 10 o'clock at night, which is what it is in the 4th of July, it's dark here at 5. So, so we're going to let off a bunch of fireworks, and we're going to call in the solstice, and we're going to start to enter into this beautiful, fabulous time of expansion. We've all been in this time of contraction and quiet, and the things are dying, and and winter. And winter is a time of reflection and a time of contraction, and I honor that cycle. And now we're entering a time of expansion, and we're heading into spring, and it's slow. It's a slow, slow process, but it's a beautiful one, and it's something that I like to honor, and so there you go. So that's what we wanted to talk about. I hope you guys get a self-care plan. If you do, post it. I would love to see what your ideas are. Any specific time to do the ritual? No, you can do it whenever. I mean, it's not like a midnight New Year's Eve thing. So we, I've got a 2-year-old, so it's all about his schedule. So people are coming over around 4, and we're gonna do, start to do stuff, and then, we're gonna wait till it gets dark, which is 5, to do the fireworks. But it's no particular time, and even the ritual I showed you, no particular time. It's whatever works for you. Okay, whatever works for you. So it's yeah, if you can do this by yourself. I have done this by myself many times. With the wish lanterns, I used to live in the beach at the beach in Santa Barbara, and so I used to do it there. And yeah. So any other questions, ladies? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I don't know that I'm going to do another live before Christmas, so happy holidays to all of you. I'll try and hop on. Maybe I'll do a little live when we're doing the wish lanterns or the fireworks. I don't know. We'll see. I got to remember. There's like the balance of being present for what's happening for you and also getting to share. So I will talk to you guys later, and happy holidays. And this was a lot longer than I meant. Sorry. Bye.